Did Elon Musk just expose the plan of the enemy to create a one-party state in the United States? Let's check it out.
So you see the other 49 states becoming California if the machine wins?
Well, you don't need all 49 to go that way. You just need enough to have the election, have there not be swing states. I mean, there are only 6 swing states.
Yep.
So there are only 6 states out of 50 right now that are in contention. So if those 6 states that are in contention by narrow margins are no longer in contention, then the only contest will be for who wins the Democratic primary. That's how it is in California. That's how it is in New York. There's no party versus party situation. The only contest is who wins the Democratic primary. And as we've seen with the appointment of Kamala, who no one voted for, even in the Democratic primary.
Yes.
Where's the democracy here?
This is the thing that Elon Musk just recently exposed in an interview with Tucker Carlson on his show. What we see here is this really intentional attempt to segment the population and to allow all these immigrants that are continuing to come over from Mexico, even from Canada, and use them for this opportunity to create a one-state United States where one party operates in just full domination over and over again. But the thing about it is that what he talks about gets even deeper because he also reveals who's behind it and why they're doing it. So let's check that out.
But why not join the easier side? I mean, you're creating problems for yourself by getting on stage with Trump. I mean, you must have had friends who said that to you.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
People who care about you, like, why even get involved in this?
Well, because I think we want to remain a democracy, and we don't want to become a one-party state.
Yes.
That's the reason. And it's the exact opposite. The people call Trump a threat to democracy, and the people who are saying Trump's a threat to democracy are themselves the threat to democracy.
Yes.
One-party rule is not democracy.
This is the thing. This is a deep revelation here. So let's talk about this for a moment. What you see here very clearly is the very words that the people are accusing the people on the other side are the things that they're actually doing. And we see this. We talk about this in the Bible all the time. Isaiah 54:17, it says that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. But it also says in the same verse, which a lot of people don't quote, it also says that every tongue that rises itself up to accuse you shall be refuted by you. So what we're seeing here is this happens all the time. The racist argument, the bigot argument, the fact about women's rights, we see that. The very party that claims that they're protecting women's rights are eroding it one step at a time. This is where you get the genderism aspects and all these things, the whole alphabet aspect. What you're starting to see is that what's going on is the other side is continuing to manipulate the systems and things behind it, the mechanisms behind our country, and then blaming the other side that, hey, they're destroying the economy, they're destroying rights, they're destroying civil rights, they're destroying all the things that we've built, but yet they're the ones that actually undermine step by step. But Elon Musk goes even further because he talks about the people that are behind it. Let's check this out.
One party where essentially the party elite pick a candidate, as happened with Kamala, is not democracy. Where did the people vote? Show me where the people voted. No, there were no people voting. It was all just Dem party elite that just appointed someone. And when the pro-Biden puppets ratings sagged, they knifed him in the back immediately and just tossed him out and put a new puppet on. That's exactly what happened. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, not only are you right, I mean, it's almost not even worth criticizing Kamala Harris.
No, exactly.
What does she have to do with it?
There's no point in criticizing Kamala. She's simply the face of a much larger machine.
Yes.
And she will say whatever the teleprompter, whatever's on the teleprompter, she's going to say it.
Yes.
Now she gets stuck if the teleprompter breaks. That happened recently. I think the teleprompter stalled, and she was just like looping for a while, for about a minute. So I think that happened yesterday or something. It was pretty funny to watch. But she'll just say whatever words are on the teleprompter. So, it's really whoever controls the teleprompter is the actual sort of, that's who's actually in charge.
And who is that, do you think?
Well, I've tried to pin it down. It's not like any one kind of mastermind. It's not like, it seems to be, it's like Kamala's sort of a marionette with you know, 1,000 puppet masters type of thing. Like not, it's, or maybe it's somewhere north of 100 is what it seems like.
Yes. I bet you know 80 of them.
I probably know most of them, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, just by virtue of your job and what you've been doing for the last 30 years, I mean,
Yeah.
And I should say, I think you voted for Biden.
I'd like to see a matchup of those, call it the top 100 puppet masters on the Epstein client list.
Do you think there's some overlap?
Strong overlap. Strong overlap.
When are we going to see that list, do you think?
I don't know. It's mind-blowing that they've not tried to prosecute even one. Not even the worst offender on the Epstein client list. They've not even tried to prosecute even one. That's insane.
Well, because they have a lot of diabetic grandmothers who were outside the Capitol on January 6th. They're kind of occupied.
Yeah, I mean, they've put like whatever 500 or 600 January 6th protesters in prison, and not one person on the Epstein client list.
Will that ever come out, do you think?
You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gates.
And Gates. It feels like we're getting to a place where the rest of us know too much. Is this, do you know what I mean? I mean, it's easier to live in a society where you don't really know what the people in charge.
So this next part really is game changing, because what happens is it shows that even though with technology, social media, things like this, that it doesn't even matter anymore, that the demonic agenda that the devil is pushing across this United States, that he doesn't care. He doesn't care it's coming public. And the fact of the matter is that he's able to blind a lot of people because the truth is what sets them free. And what he does is he obfuscates the truth. So he doesn't even care those things are happening. Listen to what Musk says about this, because this is pretty game changing.
Are doing or why they're doing it. But now, thanks, I would say, largely to X.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say that.
Yeah.
We do know a lot. Not everything, but we know a lot. And I wonder, where does that, like, what happens next now that we know all this? The kidnapper's shown us his face. Like, what happens?
Well, I think if Trump wins, we can do some house cleaning and shed light on things. Yeah, all the X platform does is adhere to freedom of speech within the bounds of the law.
Yes.
And if people want to change the laws, they can change the laws. And so, like X in different countries, X does censor in countries where censorship is the law. We don't try to, push American laws in other countries, but we do try to stick to the law in any given country. That's what we're doing. We open source our algorithms.
So here's the truth for the Christian's perspective, because I think this is really powerful. See, our testimony is all about that we are seated in heavenly places in Christ Jesus. That's our identity. That's what this channel talks about all the time. And I want you to understand is that no matter what goes on in the government, Jesus Christ is still on the throne. We know in Revelation that they are working towards a one world government. We talked about this the other day with the Pope, that they're working towards a one world religion. That's happening. That's something that's come to pass. And that's the thing that they're promoting over and over again, is they want to be able to obfuscate the truth that Jesus Christ is the path to heaven, and that what they want to do is show that, hey, you can become a part of any religion, you can do anything you want, and guess what? You're still going to heaven at the end of the day. And we know that's not the truth, because at the end of the day, the truth that sets you free is from the Bible. And when you start to understand the biblical narrative that Jesus Christ is king, he's on the throne, every single thing that you see going on in the world is absolutely working against that. 100%. It happens all the time. It becomes so plain. So even as Elon Musk talked about this, they're not afraid to show their true colors at this point, because what they're doing is they're continuing to manipulate the media and all the things that are going on. And so when people start to see the truth, because there's so much things that are clouded, they can't recognize it anymore. But that's where you have to get back to the biblical narrative and use your position in Christ. This is where Christians become prayer warriors. This is where Christians preach and worship and thank God in the storm. That's because we know that the joy of the Lord is our strength, that we know that in our prayer closet, we get perfect peace that passes all understanding. We know God's love is eternal. So that's the essence of what a Christian life is. It's about winning. And we know that the end is already written. We see it. It's coming to pass. All these things are coming into bear, and we know the end is written. We know that the judgment seat of Christ is where the Christians will go to get their reward. We know the the great white throne judgment is where Satan, his fallen angels, the demons, and everyone else that's fallen in sin are going to get judged for all of eternity. And that's it. And God's going to be victorious. He's already victorious today. The Christian is victorious every single day of his or her life. So I just want to encourage you today that even though these things continue to come out and become plain as day, that you have a place in the kingdom of heaven. And I want to encourage you today to partner with this ministry, because we opened up our Patreon site, and I'll have the link in the description below, where you can come and partner with us. And we are moving and shaking the kingdom of darkness and pushing it out of its place and shining a light through the kingdom of light to those places where Satan thought he had a foothold, and pushing them out. So go ahead, go there, partner with us. We've got 3 different tiers. You can also obviously donate more if you like, and just join in on the things that we're doing, because God is moving mightily and we're excited to be a part of it. We're excited you to join us. God bless.